be helpful.
All right, it is October 26th, 2023, and we are now recording.
So we're gonna call us to order. It is 7:02. We have no citizens. So let's skip to C1, consider approving library board minutes of regular meeting held on September 7th, 2023, and take appropriate action. So if you want to do a quick perusal. We do, yeah, and I can't motion.
I know.
I'm not
I'll
allowed.
move that we approve the minutes.
Okay, so Lee moves to approve.
Second.
Stacy seconds. All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Okay. And C2, trustee reports. Allison.
So the first thing I have is the Library of 2030 and what to expect from changes to physical design of libraries. I work for an architecture firm, so this one was interesting to me specifically. So in the next 10 years, they predict that libraries will be almost unrecognizable due to how we get our content, so more digital things online like that. So as they move to online formats, the spatial needs will change. So that could leave an opportunity for designs to focus less on basic book storage and more on the user experience. So spaces like for concentration and conversations, technologies and tools will be front and center. There will be smarter storage features, sustainable architecture features, and furniture that could be more modern, and also Instagrammability. So having those.
So the
Places.
library influencer will become a thing.
Yeah, so having those spaces that are picture worthy. And then the second one, just another kind of like easy good news thing. Dolly Parton was awarded honorary membership in the American Library Association. And she considers her Imagination Library initiative as one of her greatest achievements. So this Imagination Library mails free, high-quality, age-appropriate books to children from birth until age 5, no matter their family's income. And last year, 1 of 10 children under the age of 5 in the US received an Imagination Library book from Dolly each month, which was more than 2 million books delivered globally per month. That's what I got.
Thank you. All right, C3, review patron feedback. I think there's about 40, there are 47 entries, so we'll kind of go page by page, so 1 through 9 first. So just as you see something, feel free to say something about it. Anything 1 through 9?
Number 6 is funny because it's the 7.
It's perfect, but it's a 7.
Interesting feedback.
Okay, let's look at 10 through 13. Number 10 is just really sweet.
Yeah. But I also think it harps back to kind of like the experience that I was saying is
Yeah.
like tomorrow's library is gonna be more about like exploration and such.
Mhm. Any other thoughts on 10 through 13? All right, let's go 14 to 30.
Does the staff get to see these? Because they're really.
I send out selected one, the highlights more accurately
Yeah.
every Monday. So.
I like that the library is a vibe.
That's my favorite.
It needs to go on. Which one is that?
19. It's a vibe. It's always a welcome. It's a vibe.
But then they said it's hit or miss.
Well, you know, vibes can be hit or miss.
Vibes can be positive or negative.
They can.
But they gave us a 10.
They did.
Yeah,
Doesn't the seed library require you to bring seeds back?
you're supposed to if you,
If you
But
take
you
seeds,
can't.
you're supposed to then go through the process of drying out seeds from whatever you grew.
That's number 16, if I may, so maybe that.
Yeah, it's the idea, but it's, as hot as the summer was.
Yeah,
a
sometimes you're
lot
not
of
able
people
to.
Came back in and was like, yeah, everything died.
Yeah, that was, or much of my cantaloupes were pilfered by possums and I have video evidence.
They don't come after you if you don't bring seeds back.
Yeah,
I would imagine not.
If you live in Texas, gardening is.
it's hard.
Mm.
And yet people did it for many years
Hit or
before
miss.
grocery stores.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. Okay, anything else? 14 to 30.
So what is Text Express? It's just number
That's-
16.
you can check out from other libraries.
I think they mean like text express, the
Text
text share.
Yeah,
is what
text
they
share. Oh,
probably
okay.
mean. Not the highway. They mean, I think
Sorry.
I think they mean the text, like the text share. You don't have to live here to use it, and you can get a card here and use it at other libraries.
450 something participating libraries across Texas.
So you can check things out from like a Houston library.
And then I guess number 20, the unhandy for senior citizens because of some shelves are on the floor. As I don't know if there's anything that we can really do about that at the moment.
We can ask for help.
I had a conversation with this individual many months ago with virtually the exact same comment word for word. And, it's more or less like, if the alternative is to drive books on the shelf. Like, there is nowhere else for us to move things because the height of the shelving racks are so high, we couldn't add another shelf because then they're
Right.
inaccessible.
Then people can't reach.
So it's you either have fewer items or taller shelves to take stuff off of the bottom row.
And then they trusted that being too tall.
And bottom row is more accessible than a shelf where you need to.
I mean, and there's lots of staff, and as we know, the staff are very friendly and like to help you.
Mhm.
So,
You can go through the children's section and borrow a short person.
yeah. Just go grab a random toddler and say, hey, get that borrow. All right, 31 to 41.
I will point out, number 32 has a weird set of symbols. They use the thumbs up emote in the actual message, which did not translate to Excel at all.
It's a vibe.
There are a lot of comments about the seed library.
I know, that's what I'm noticing.
Yeah.
It's been in the newsletter, in the library newsletter a lot recently, so I wonder if that's why people are frequenting it more, learning more about it.
We did also just replenish all the seeds in the seed library again, last month before.
Okay.
So we tend to not replenish it during, June, July, August. 'cause-
Yeah, 'cause it's
No one's planting anything.
No.
growing season.
Mhm.
It's probably gonna catch a lot more attention in the spring.
Yeah. I liked 31, that they just moved here and they came one time and they're like, yeah, well, we liked going to the library where we used to live and we will keep coming to the library. So that's cool.
It's been a very pleasant month of
Of reviews, they've been very kind. All right, last group, 42 to 47. Yeah, I mean, there's no drama.
Yeah, I like 46 because that's where we want to be, is that included.
Yeah,
And, you
yeah.
know, that- I mean, they can see that.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, and then, of course, has anybody heard anything while out in the wild? People walk hard? Nope. Cool. All right, let's go to C4, which is discuss short and long-term goals for the 2045 vision plan, which is what I saw right there. Oh, there's no marker. There's a marker. Okay.
Here you go.
Oh, colors, I love colors. Okay. So, oh, is this supposed to? It's got Velcro on it. It's supposed to Velcro something. Okay. So, or not.
Theoretically.
Okay.
Or Velcro.
Or Velcro. Oh, the two-inch one. Okay, so we were thinking like, not that side. So like 5, nope. Let's try again, third time's the charm. This one looks promising. Here we go. All right, so 5 and 10, and then like 20 years out is kind of where we want to go with these. So the things that I wrote down that we kind of all seem to have a consensus on were the West Side book drop, a bookmobile, a pop-up library. These were all things for the West Side to kind of reach out to them for the city's like connectivity ideal. And then adding more EV chargers out in the parking lot, which we were unclear of how much say we really, or what we can really do with that, other than maybe say to whoever's in charge of that, hey, can you pop 2 or 3 more out there?
I know they're always full.
They're always full. I was shocked when I pulled up tonight and there was only 1 car.
Mhm.
And they
Normally,
just installed some at the rec center.
did they?
The dog park, right
Yeah,
across
they've
from
been
Blair.
working on
Wait,
that.
that-
Saw
Much
that.
the
About
council.
the electrical car, there was something that I saw, I want to say in a city council meeting where they voted not to add more because the cost is, it's extremely expensive.
Okay.
They were all grant funded. That's how we
Yeah.
required all of those. They did city council a few months ago. Also, now there's a cost associated with charging on.
Yes, that's what it was. There was a charge. And so because of the expense, yeah. And so,
So people are having to pay to charge at them now, they're not
Yes.
free. Well, I mean, that makes sense. We have to pay for gas, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then maintaining like a diverse collection for all people on all subjects. And then programs for the underserved, adult literacy being specifically one that was brought up, but ESL falls into that category, citizenship classes fall into that category. And I'm sure other things will come up as the things, as time progresses and needs change and the population changes. So I guess what we need to think about is where on our chart do we want these things to go? Like, what's a 5-year thing? What's a 10-year thing? What's a 20-year thing?
The drop should just be 5 years at max.
The what?
The drop on the other side, the west side.
Yeah.
You're saying the West Side book drop,
Yeah. it should
like
be-
the Amazon locker thing?
Yeah, it should be 5 years.
Okay.
max.
And then maybe expanding it should be.
Depending on usage, I would really call that a reevaluate after it's been out there for a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
If nobody uses it, then there's no point in
And-
expanding.
Right. Yeah.
The field that's over on, I guess, the south side, is that in between the firehouse and here? What is that?
That is, I mean, technically, like, we're talking just like right there.
You're talking this
Yeah,
way.
right there,
between-
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's all still city property.
Okay, well, I don't know if there's anything that's gonna go in there. but I mean,
I don't think you can put anything on it. It's kind of slopey.
It's very slopey.
It would take some extensive landscaping to.
Mhm.
but I mean, in 20 years, just a thought,
Yeah,
just extra space for
Mhm.
expansion or development.
yeah.
I mean,
We also talked about all the apartments going in on the east side.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, I remember from our,
Oh, yeah, because they're doing a
Sense
lot
of
of
great-
redevelopment
Yeah.
of like they keep calling it the Tuesday morning area. It is, but I mean, that's the most noticeable building over there.
People gonna
Yeah.
be living in them.
A lot of those or even like kind of behind like Jen's place.
Right.
And that kind of area between Jen's place and Tuesday morning is where they're trying to redevelop. They're actually going on a big walking tour. I have the date. They said it at our board chair meeting.
Oh.
I'll look it up in a minute, but they're gonna do a walking tour of the design district because they did that. But that's one of those things that'll take
Yeah, that's.
20
all.
years.
Yeah.
To do.
because when we
So-
were on the redistricting committee, that was a big discussion that they're thinking the next big growth will not necessarily be just the west side, but the east side, because all
Yes.
those warehouses are too short for what they want in warehouses today.
Right.
And people are redeveloping them into apartments and homes,
And other
other
things,
things.
yeah. So, okay, so book drop, what else? Is that it?
Well, I
Everything's a
think that
5-year.
Some of the adult classes, we may be able to, like the literacy classes and things like that. We
Yeah,
may be able to partner with some of the,
that can be a more
that's
immediate.
that's on the
thing.
agenda.
It is,
Speak about that. a
Yeah.
little bit. Or GED, there's a number of.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about GED.
Uh-huh.
But does
School district
Brookhaven-
offers that.
I was gonna say, or at Brookhaven, can you
Yeah.
take them? You used to be able to take them at Brookhaven.
And that's something to research and find out, because we
Yeah.
don't want to duplicate services in the
That
year.
are already in
They
the
come
area.
and go, because I've been looking at that, and like, Lyft is now kind of usurped with, Workforce Commission. But there's a Workforce Commission office right on Sigma, so, anyway,
Okay,
but that's something that could,
We could help them.
yeah, and could partner with some people.
I think something that could
Short term.
fall into like I know Trevor's kind of already working on it is the collection development policy, but that's probably something that would need to be revisited in 5 and probably 10 and 20 years. So we can probably put it across the thing is assessing the collection.
Yeah, I mean, really, all of our policies should be evaluated every 5 years or so at
Mhm.
maximum anyway, just because things change.
Things
so
change
quick.
so fast.
are these goals or are these?
Goals and action items,
Okay.
like, obviously, things that are 5 years are things that can more easily become actionable items, right? Like, when it's time to present a budget to the city again, because when I mentioned the book drop on the west side at the chair thing, like, that perked up the mayor's ears, and Councilman Merritt was there also. So that's something that when it's time to write the budget again, that we can ask for and make a presentation on and make a case for at one of our council, we do every 6 months,
Okay.
a presentation to council. That's something that we could put out there to them.
I guess my focus is more on like the 10 and 20 years.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at, because I like Allison was saying, I'm gonna harp back onto that, but like, I think in the future, a lot of books are gonna go digital,
Yeah.
especially now. So how do we,
And I think that's a really good thing to bring out, because one of those, let me open this up. I have to think up. One of the things that was there was redevelopment, and making sure that anything that's being built now has longevity and can be repurposed in another way. So I think it is probably not an unwise idea to think about, well, what does the library look like in 2030 or 2045 as technology changes, as the way we use the space changes? So I could say even making like a 20, I mean, we just did a remodel, and before that, how long was the 80s?
Yeah.
I think was the last time the building was touched, so that's 30-something years. So I think making a redevelopment plan.
well, and I like the concept of the third space, because you have, your workplace, you have your home place, and then you need a third place to be, and
Mhm.
outside of your home.
Like a quiet, a
Not
calm place.
a calm place, a lot of millennials nowadays, we like just a very calm conversation,
Mhm.
enjoy coffee, do things like that. Generation Z is gonna be more phone, the personal devices. And so
Yeah.
they're gonna have their kids in, 20 years or so. So,
Mhm.
you having the next generation idea is probably
Uh-huh.
along the
I think
lines
that
of,
that's why we might want to think about like, what does a 2045 library, Manske library look like?
And I would say, look at libraries that have been built in the last 3 or 4 years. Who has like brand new libraries that have been opened up or built or remodeled? As far as like what new libraries are looking like today. Like there's,
Briscoe just
There's a-
printed their.
Frisco.
Yes, there's a look at like a learning.
It's really nice.
People look at it, it's almost like a-
Yeah, the Frisco one though, I think is much bigger than we are.
Well, yeah.
I think there's elements of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
like I think an updated like kids area
area
would
is so
be
nice.
something like welcome, like having some sort of like play structure or something in the kids area.
Something closed off where they won't disturb.
Other
Everything.
people,
Get some stuff from McDonald's.
a ball pit, you want a
Yes.
ball pit?
That's right.
Trevor's like,
A
no.
ball pit with a side of pink eye.
I think also if we had, like just thinking along those lines, like, not recently, but I've always seen like a lot of comments from homeschooling parents. So I would love to see like, I don't know what it is, but something to develop the homeschooling program even further. Cause I know there's a lot available during the day, but I know there have been asks for more. And so I know it's very like vague, but
No, it's not, but yeah.
I think maybe in the 5-year, just going back to that, but, with the idea that there are quiet spaces, there are talking spaces, and then there are learning spaces.
Uh-huh.
The, closing off of the quiet spaces downstairs so that they are actually more soundproof,
Mhm.
maybe in a 5 to 10-year plan.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we've talked about is, this is, they make these things that they're, acoustic art is basically what it is. And it's a canvas that's got like egg crating in it, and its whole job is to trap sound, but it looks beautiful. And you could even have commission art from local artists, and then it won't be painted on, so like you can't paint it on that, but you can send them, maybe you could, I don't know, some you might be able to. But you could even send it off and it gets printed onto a canvas and wrapped around. And it helps kind of draw sound. And so what we've hanging them in those little open windows around the children's spaces, it does kind of visually close it off, but in an aesthetically pleasing way. And it catches the sound and keeps it from falling downstairs.
because if you do actually wall off spaces, it does create kind of a barrier mentality. It's hard, it's much harder, like, let's say if there's a screaming child in the children's area.
So I'm gonna call this soundproofing children's area,
It's your plan.
Sound conscious.
being more sound conscious.
There is a tendency to just shove them in a room that would be, like say, shove them in the children's area and then forget about them. And that's not what you want to happen. You want
Right.
people to be able to feel like they have access to the entire library. I've been in libraries where I am not comfortable, like as a librarian, walking around, looking and seeing what they're doing. Oh, their children's area is walled off. I guess I can't go in. And then you don't.
I
want-
think you could also enclose it with glass. I've seen a lot of libraries
There-
enclose it with glass.
They have some of them aren't.
Or like
Easier.
plexiglass, yeah.
Yeah.
I think about like Amazon, how they have those phone booths and such that are, they're soundproof and they're open, like one side is completely glass, the
Mhm.
door is, and you can go in, sit down and like listen to music and such, and it is a sound telephone booth.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
So I don't know how easy those are to get. But
Are
I'm
you
sure
thinking
Amazon
more
gets
like
rid of them eventually.
Really more like the study rooms downstairs.
Well, and then it creates, because we don't want to necessarily wall off, like Trevor is saying, the children's area and separate them from the entire rest of the world. But we do want to be able to allow for people to have a space that they can be quiet
Mhm.
and not be disturbed.
That's why I like how you said sound conscious, because there are gonna be some people who want to be able to be loud.
Yes.
We don't want to make them feel they can't be, and other
Well,
people who don't want.
And I feel like libraries have come a long way from being like, shh. I remember in middle school, my parents dropped a friend and I off at our local library to do a project. And we got back in the car and we were still whispering because we'd been whispering for like 2 hours. And he was like, my dad's like, I should do this more. You come back a quieter person. So,
But
yeah. And so with our development plan, we're talking about spaces, right?
Yeah.
With different purposes,
Insta spaces.
Insta spaces. We're gonna create the library influencer. It's gonna be a thing. Okay, so we've got kind of like short term and very long term, but not like
What about-
mid. Oh, yes, David.
I was gonna say, for the redevelopment plan and the spaces, I don't know, depending on how the city grows, this may not be the only location that's
Yeah.
necessary.
So we might want to put in 10 years, like alternate or not alternate locations, but
Centrally located.
secondary
Secondary
locations.
or centrally located, new
Other branch.
branding, branch, something along those lines, because if the city doubles in population,
Mhm.
can't have that many people coming here, you'd be stacking on top of each
I
other.
mean,
Yeah.
we have days already where we're stacked up.
Yeah,
Right, what kind of event are you gonna have and where are you gonna hold it?
Yeah, I mean, we can't handle much more than about 200 people for any one program.
Right.
And that's currently.
Right, so
And
there
then
needs to
voting's
be,
gonna get worse.
yeah, considering the amount of people that keep moving to the area.
Yes.
It's definitely.
well, I feel like I'm talking to people all the time. They find out I live here and they're like, yeah, I'm trying to move there, but there's nothing for
Yeah.
sale. And I'm like, because those of us who live there, we just moved to another house in the city and then keep filling them up. Anyways, okay.
What about more cultural events for like the 10-year?
Not even 10.
Yeah, I mean, I would 5, 10, yeah.
Keep in mind, there are only
That's
so
part of-
many events you can have at a time,
Well, if you
that's
have
the
multiple
board.
locations.
Yeah.
You got multiple locations.
Well, I think we could
Yeah, the
also
pop-up
consider
will-
swapping some of the programs out for more cultural events as well.
To be more programs that the library board organizes and runs.
Yeah.
This is true.
Okay, so I'm gonna write.
And you can kind of connect with other boards and other places in the city and sponsor things elsewhere too.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be held here. We can do
Mhm.
things in the historical park, that are big enough.
No, like even, I mean, obviously, like, since I'm Indian, I'm more. But like, I know that a lot of like the Mercer Crossing area
Yes.
is a lot, and
Yeah.
since we're trying to outreach them, what if we did like, I don't know, a reading or over there, like in Hindi or in Tamil or
Is it
Like-
we throw back the region?
Oh, that's the, Diwali's lights.
Or no,
You're thinking
holy.
of the holy, which is the color.
Gotta do that. the
Yeah.
historical park, that would be nice.
Actually, that would be a holy event at the historical park would be amazing.
And they're building a park over there too.
At Mercer
so-
Crossing, yeah. That would be so.
So when I think of connectedness, I
Uh-huh.
think of like transportation as well.
Uh-huh.
So do we have like a bus station or anything that's nearby?
So that's DART.
Yeah.
Kind of does all of that without a lot of input of their participating cities. Because there was a bus stop at the end of my street that we would get on and we would ride it to the train. There was actually someone on my street who literally would get on the bus and go to work every day because I can see the bus stop from my house. And DART decided that stop wasn't useful for them and they pulled it. And so now if I want to get on a bus from where I'm at, I have to walk to Brookhaven
Mhm.
or I have to walk to Josie and Valley View,
Mhm.
which is a haul.
does the senior center have like trips here, like regular trips here?
But we do host, whenever they do their remodel, we will be hosting some of the programs.
Okay.
So,
But do you know, do they come like
Like I'm saying, like, what if there was like a shuttle that came like once a week from the senior center and brought people here, like from the senior center?
I mean, I feel like most of those people are still pretty able to get around on their own and aren't needing something like that. It'd be more like if you wanted to get was the Brook, what is it?
The retirement.
Yeah, whatever that,
Yeah.
that senior health, or what is it? It's
all
Brook
stuff.
something, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Brookdale.
Berkshire.
Brookdale.
Brookdale.
I think.
You were close, Shire and Dale, they're very close. Yeah, so those are, that's something where you could set up a time for them to come over, or even take books to them that they can peruse and then bring them back, if you're looking for like an outreach to the community that
Yeah.
way. Because they're not the only senior living center, there's a couple. There's another one. Somewhere else.
Well, aren't there rehab centers too, that say like long-term care facilities too?
I know, so all that construction that's happening next to the hospital is supposed to be a senior living center.
It's, from a medical perspective, it's a little harder to get people out
Yes.
of those and easier to go into. So,
Bookmobile.
Yeah.
Yes, I know, I'm still really behind this bookmobile, even if it does get us all kidnapped. No, I really do like the idea, I'm gonna put that here. I'm gonna put that here. I like the idea.
Because it'd be great, because like y'all mentioned seniors, 'cause I kept thinking to go into the apartment areas for the kids.
Yeah,
The same idea, to go in there for the other adults.
like Terra Place and, what's the other one? I don't know.
Actually, look for grants for bookmobile.
I'm sure, are there some? I'm sure there are.
Not real.
They're not as.
They're not
There was a time
specific.
period.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
That's
just
really
right now, like, I've been looking just in grants in general, and there's not the
Not a
grants
lot of
do not seem to be as lucrative as they were a couple of years ago.
Right.
Lucrative is probably the wrong word, but
Like, they're not as available, they're not as
yeah,
prevalent,
they're more targeted.
yeah.
And they're very specific targeted, like TSLAC's got one that's open right now, that is for the digitization of special collections, which is cool, however, doesn't
Very
really
few
help us.
people have, yeah, I was gonna say, very few community libraries.
Or it's really small community libraries that
Yeah.
double as the city archive.
Oh.
That's my assumption of where that one's actually targeted at. Or massive libraries like Dallas that has a full archival floor.
Yes,
Yeah.
There's your two.
yeah, those are your two groups of people. Okay, anything else?
Well, on the bookmobile.
Yeah.
Even like a hotspot mobile, because I remember when we had to go virtual that one time, there's still a lot of people, there's that digital divide.
I
Yeah,
agree
and
with
to
that.
be able to, I remember at one time, the district was even talking about,
Where my parents live, they would put, internet hotspots inside of the school buses.
Yeah.
And then, because one of their employees is also the head of the bus barn where they live, and he would drive the bus, and he had, by day, he had a route during all of that, and he would go sit here, and then there was internet for this group of people, and then like on Tuesday, it was this group's turn to have internet. So,
and especially at those more and more digital collections that let people have access, that not accidentally come to the library to have to use the digital. Because we still have people come up outside of school and will sit in front of the school. And
to use the school Wi-Fi.
Mhm. And then they've also discovered areas that have the plug, so they'll go sit and use the Wi-Fi and plug in and charge at the same time. My kid brought his whole computer. That's funny.
Coffee shop.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
That kind of goes.
we've had extensive, y'all, my hot chocolate bar, he's like, in this area only. So.
That would be on down the line.
Yeah, well, I mean, that could be part of the redevelopment space. Maybe when you redevelop,
You
you
have a
decide to get rid
Conversation
of,
space.
well, or you decide to get rid of carpet. I don't know, except that carpet absorbs sound.
Yes.
It absorbs sound, but also it traps everything gross. So it's a,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's one of the things when you go into the redevelopment plan, you can decide, well, when we pull up the carpet, because the carpet's gonna wear out, we can decide instead to like, just paint the concrete.
Well, and I think it would be nice in an area, in like the future, this is 20 years, it'd be nice if like small businesses could start coming in and like getting started at the library in a way that's like,
So
hey,
under spaces, we want like a startup,
You want, looking for a small business incubator.
yeah,
startup, like an incubator, yeah.
So just something to keep in mind, the library cannot be everything.
It cannot be everything. No, but I think that we're brainstorming, right? And then we can walk things
Well, it
back.
might be stuff that we could pass on to the city that they need.
Yeah.
An incubator, like there's, what's the school out in, is it Wiley? That built that new school, that the bottom floor is a startup incubator and the kids get to work in the,
That's
in the
kind of cool.
businesses.
That's
It's a
cool.
huge facility.
Yes, David,
I think
it
it's
feels like a
Wiley.
hand raise.
It is a bit of a hand raise, but I like the idea of your spaces, but I don't like the idea of 20 years.
Mm.
But what I do think could possibly be done as a pilot, and I think,
Uh-huh.
but a digital library space that only has. Right? So it
So
provides.
you want like a, I'm
As
gonna put that
tablets,
under the 10.
Has PCs available. That way you can come into a relaxing space, pick up and check out a tablet to read their book off of Google.
Mhm.
Or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, yeah,
Or the video collection, watch a movie in a movie room or something along
Or
those
theater.
lines. Where it's exclusively digital.
That's next level.
yeah. That is. I say digital library space, because I feel like if I just write digital library,
yeah,
we'll be like, well, we have.
But yeah, exclusively for that. And then you have your spaces there where you could be, compartmentalized, centralized, maybe, a large warehouse broken into different pieces. Go over in a movie and you go pop over here, go watch that. You want to listen to an audiobook, sit, relax back on the couch, listen to your audiobook. Whatever the case may be, have tablets available. You can just log in, download the book you want to read and start reading.
Well, yeah, because even with a tablet, like it has a camera, it can scan the barcode on your library card.
There's all those speakers that you can stand under that kind of isolate the sound too, which would be kind of cool to have these little pod things that people would just stand under and hear whatever they want to listen to at the time.
Could even do headphones.
Yeah, you don't need headphones.
Headphones are hard to keep clean.
Yeah.
Bring
No,
your,
but I'm
bring your
saying,
own.
bring BYO headphones. But if the speaker, but if they're like little pods.
Yeah.
And the speaker's right above you and it contains the sound to the space that you're in, then if you had all of those, then you don't need headphones. And you don't have to worry about the hygienics of it, or having like back in the day, the airplane ones that were like one-time use, right?
And then depending on the pod, you could like make them mobile and you can make them connectable. So like if you had a family that had like 4 or 5
Oh.
people, you could snap a whole bunch of pods together and you'd have a little,
That's it.
That's an idea right
That's a
there.
great idea.
because I mean, you may not want to be
Now
by
I feel
yourself.
like we're
Have a
creating
wa-
one of
yeah,
those, like,
start your
Japanese
watching
pod
party.
hotels.
Start your watching party, everybody brought their headphones, they're all plugged into this, or they are all just listening to all the speakers that are directly above them on their 5 lounge chairs that are next to each other.
It also sounds like a bunch of people need to go start a company, because I've never seen anything like that.
And we need that startup space first.
Well,
Yes,
let's
first
push it
we'd
to the
like-
5 years. And get a jump start.
Yeah. Anything else? No?
I was gonna say there might be some opportunities to merge the book drop for the west side with the digital library space that David is suggesting.
Of what, moving the digital library space to
The west of.
the west side?
Where there's like not a lot of.
There's
Yeah,
not a lot. of-
Absolutely. It needs to be either
And that's-
essentially
that's
located
kind of
or on
the-
the other side where
Yeah,
there's
I
a
just-
large population.
There's a large population over there. It's continuing to grow, and those neighborhoods over there in Mercer Crossing built out so fast, especially for the price point that they were at. Like it was, we went and looked at one and they're like, so we have like 4 left and you're gonna have to decide tomorrow. And I was like, I can't.
well,
So,
and once the east side starts demolishing all of those warehouses and
or
doing this
converting them or
thing,
whatever.
thing.
Yeah,
And then what's to say that there isn't a west side digital library that's proves extremely successful? And then the east side build a second one
yeah.
because all that space is available. Now you've got 2. And it's
And
a
it's still
more
close.
centrally located physical library.
Yeah.
And it's also close enough that, I wouldn't mind going either way if I wanted to go to the digital library.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I like this. All right, any other thoughts? Feels very productive. I'm gonna snap a picture.
Because I'm not listening to that anymore. Okay, like staffing, that's it.
No, I know, you're just going, that requires people. Right. And I get that. It requires, all of these are great ideas, but they require people and money,
Oh, yeah,
right?
lots of money.
Yeah, don't think we're gonna make you do all this.
I mean, I have heard the suggestion floated before.
What?
That I'm doing everything.
No.
That's just a bare minimum.
Yeah.
Where's my, I'm just gonna find, here we go. Okay, I wrote it down somewhere because it was very interesting. Oh, okay, yeah, it's planning and zoning is who's doing it on the 26th. Oh, that was today.
Yes.
Sorry, friends.
I wonder how-
I don't know how it went then. I don't know. There was a whole bus in Milwaukee. I thought it was a Saturday that it was happening on, but I wrote it down as 10/26. But the Planning and Zoning Commission was doing a tour of the design district and Bishop Arts to look at ways to retrofit and revitalize. Because those are two areas where, like, I don't know, we talk all the time that if we were 20 now, that's where we would live. But when we were 20 and looking for a place to live, like, you didn't go live there. So anyway. So.
And also, just thinking of a library that has been built within the last couple of years. There is the Cybrarium in Florida. It's a LSNS library that was built in 2021.
Cybrarium, like cyber library?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, there you go, that's the digital.
There's your digital library.
I mean, now it still has a collection of 50,000 items, something like that, but they do mostly laptop checkouts. They found out Google Chrome laptops are not the way to go.
No.
The Windows ones are doing well. You know, VR stations, gaming station setups. So they've got some cool stuff going.
That's where Ben could put his digital gaming center in the digital library on the west side.
Just for reference, when they said, you told me how, you said how much that their collection size is. What's the Manske collection?
It is 89,700. I was looking at it like.
So like roughly 90,000?
Yes.
Okay.
It's probably 90,000 with not non-circulating items.
Okay. So it's like
90,000 circulating or non?
90,000 with the non-circulating.
With non-circulating.
It's like
Okay.
89, we have like 1,000 things that don't circulate. They're like magazines, newspapers.
So we're like more than double of what, okay, I was just trying to put it in perspective
For the moment.
until we get to the cat collection.
Until we get to the what?
The collection part that's gonna spread out for years.
Well, no, this is just, it needs to continually be evaluated. Like just
For all kinds of
for all kinds of things,
diversity.
Yeah.
Jungle.
whatever, the needs of the community. Okay,
Fun.
yeah,
Just
jamming down.
They need better,
Web
they need better,
chapel.
soundproofing in the car doors.
Yes, they could use some acoustic art on there.
hearing aid in about 2 years.
Okay, let's move on to C5 then. Joel Bocaflad, conceptual scavenger hunt approval and take appropriate action. So in your packet, you have kind of a mostly full scavenger hunt board. And then I had mine from a few weeks ago. I wrote most things on, and now I can't find it. Oh, there it is.
And I think I put some of the things on here that was on your list as well.
Mhm.
The ones that say learn, does that mean go and ask someone?
Mhm.
Maybe we could change the wording on there, like ask someone.
Ask about living, ask about Humble Books.
Yeah.
Ask how to check out a sim kit.
Locate the book return, which one?
Hopefully we'll have to.
Hopefully there will be two by then.
I'm touching on that when we get to the director.
Uh-huh.
The one up front here, or the book drop outside, or
Maybe the third one.
maybe.
I'd be happy if they knew where any of them would be.
Is the purpose of this for them to just see their way around the library?
Yes, that's the goal. So like things that we came up with at our house as I was polling the people who live with me, things were like find a travel book. They also, I think one of them was just trying to be cheeky, but this is not a terrible idea, is to find a book about books. So like, find a book that has books, yeah, no, they're out there.
Yeah.
Like, books that take place in libraries or around bookstores, or like, books about books.
So my brain went to like the history of literacy and like the history of the book, which is a fascinating podcast that I listen to. Anyway.
I think that that's what they meant, but I'm going to give it a more accessible spin.
I like that one.
Yeah, find a book about books,
The
or
book thief.
a book, the book thief, the last bookshop in London. Coffee, a coffee table book about coffee tables, is that what you said? Yeah.
Seinfeld.
Piggy and elephants were in a book.
Yeah, Piggy and Elephant, we are in a book. Yes, that's a great one.
Find a book with book in the title.
Yeah. Or,
How
yeah,
about a book with a local person?
You don't have that anywhere else.
yeah, I thought about that. There used to be that section,
I mean, we still have a local history section.
or like, but there was like a section that was like books by local authors.
Yeah, we still have
Downstairs.
that.
Oh, okay.
You
So
know,
you could do that, find a book by a local author.
What about fix the crosswalk lighting?
No, that's not,
It's in- it's in
that would be
the-
great. The other thing that they came up with was count the number of fountains outside.
Oh.
Like, how many are there that spout? Good, so, and then,
That
name
would
an
be depending
animal.
if it's really going on that day.
Well, it's been very reliable of late, so I think there's a good chance.
Yep.
And then the other one was name an animal on the book mural.
8 months,
Yeah.
7 months, 8 months since we've had a problem.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then the other one they came up with was name an animal on the book mural.
well, what if it's frozen? Is the-
Well, we don't normally freeze that early. That'd be weird.
And if the fountain is frozen, odds are we're not here.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, this is true, this is true.
Does the fountain go year round?
Well, it's supposed to. We'll find out when it gets cold.
That should happen Sunday.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what's not on here, and I don't know how feasible it would be.
Print something from the printer.
No.
No. I was thinking, like, book a study room.
It would work if we weren't trying to have all of these people through here to do it in
Yeah.
2 hours. I mean, it could be more like find out how to book a study room, but even then, you're still, the process requires an ID.
Hmm.
And there's gonna be a lot of little ones that don't have an ID. Yeah, and that's also a service we really don't need to promote.
Yeah.
It's well enough advertised. Okay,
I mean,
fair.
Are the 2 open ones just gonna be free?
no.
No, they were just empty. We ran out of ideas.
Yes.
What about locating the flyer that talks about upcoming library events?
Bring the flyer.
Up front.
Mhm.
Or write
Oh,
down an upcoming library event, they could put their. own.
Yeah. so-
Oh, I like that. Write down an upcoming event you want to attend. I like that. That's a good one.
Because usually maybe before Santa and cookies and.
Oh, yes. Did we choose a date?
I thought we did. For some reason.
December 6th is the kickoff. That is what I have written down.
Yeah, December 6th,
December 6th.
which will be before Santa and Cookies, which is the 13th.
The 13th,
Yeah,
Do we have a time that we want this to be? I don't think we've
we did
discussed
not
that.
discuss the time last time.
Didn't we say that this was gonna be like a month-long thing, or?
This is the kickoff for the book drive.
Right.
And so this is the book drive kickoff, then plus the scavenger hunt and hot chocolate.
Mhm.
And that's why bring a book is one of the things on the squares.
Right.
And the goal is to get 5 in any direction.
Mhm.
But then you yell hot chocolate when you're done.
And then we
Can't
also,
use the 5-letter word.
oh yeah, that's right. We also need to decide how long we want to collect books too, and what that cutoff date will be.
Oh, yeah.
Cannot have gambling or.
What would be a good cutoff date? I feel like
According
the
to. They
Look at a month of-
Bingo in the code. Yes.
December.
You want to go beyond Santa.
Well, I know that like most people, like Christmas break, school Christmas breaks, very, depending on where you are. But again, the 18th through the 20th. So I feel like if you go beyond, then, I don't know, then they're just, it's done before people, if you do the 20th, then that's a full 2 weeks of book drive.
And then
So y'all are going to collect the books and take them to the hospital, right?
So I reached out to our contact. He did get back.
Good.
Yes. I reached out to our contact, Vince. He is double checking to see what kinds of books, if there was like a specific need, but he sounded enthusiastic, so.
Okay.
He was very excited last year is what I had from memory serves.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we're gonna go there, just waiting on the final okay.
Okay.
I keep going over your back. So is there any on this list that you absolutely don't like?
Bring a book to donate.
Well, that's part of what we're doing.
That's what
We're kicking off
so
the,
they'll need to know that one, like, for sure.
well, I think that'll go in the promotion,
Part of the
and part of the
promotions.
promotions of it.
Come to the Yola Baca Blood, kickoff party, bring the book to donate to the Dallas.
It's also St. Nicholas Day, December 6th, so it's.
Oh,
kind of
cool.
fun to- Yeah. So, sorry, Lee, I just did it back to you.
So I guess,
Do we need to lock the wheels on the table?
It's fine.
nobody's
gonna go down.
I'll just stop touching it.
so I guess we just need to update kind of the wording for learn, if that makes sense, but I think everything.
Yeah, we wanted to just, everywhere it says learn, I think people wanted to be asked.
Yep.
Yeah.
The one thing that I get a little worried about for Libby and the STEM kit is that it's not available to all patrons. So it's because you have to be either, you have to be a Farmers Branch.
You have to be a
resident.
Farmers Branch resident.
Yeah, so I don't know.
They
if
can still
we
ask
should-
about
Still
it
ask
and
about
they'll learn that they don't live here, so they don't.
And there's no houses to buy, so they'll be back.
Pressure their parents to move.
Yeah.
Libby is a nice one because you can, that's then turns around an opportunity to educate about Houston.
Yes,
You can get your library card for free from the Houston Public Library as long as you live in the state of Texas.
yes.
And you can.
And then you
And
can.
then you can do
use
Texas,
And then you
Texas
can-
Express.
The Texas Express Library.
Check it out.
Yeah.
You can go on the bus that will take you down to Houston. And check out what you want to check out.
I know they do Libby, I don't know if they do.
Hoopa has so, I feel like,
Was huge.
I feel like that's an even better one to have people ask about is Hoopla.
Yeah.
Because of everything, all the different kinds of content. You can stream music and movies and television shows and audiobooks and ebooks and there's cookbooks on there. Like there's so much
Yeah.
stuff.
Do you want to add that to an open space?
I would replace.
Libby
Libby.
with Hoopla. I just feel like it has more. And the thing about Hoopla that's better in my opinion than Libby is there's no such thing as a hold. And if your checkout lapses, you can check it out right away.
Yep.
Like there's no waiting.
You
I
just
guess
have
that
a
tells you a lot
six,
about
right?
me.
maximum of 6.
You get so many per month.
Yeah, I think it's 6. It's either 5 or 6.
And you get it for 21 days.
Is there a sign at the front that says when the library was established? Can we have
Yes.
them look
There
for
are three.
that?
There's
Right as you
plaques,
walk in
there's
the door.
3 plaques.
So maybe that can be a space. Maybe.
I think you can mix them up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I was just plunking them on here as people email me back, it's just like plunk.
I do like that one though, is like find,
That could be another right one, write a fact you learned about the library. Could be like it was founded at, or just even write something. you
write a
learned.
fact about the history of the library.
I would like to point out that it is 7:55.
This is gonna be a longer one, just because there's a lot of things on it.
Did you think you were getting out in an hour?
No, I just, the last time I remembered, I'd have to like remind times. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, no, I
it's
looked
a
at
big fun.
I looked at this thing and I was like, this is gonna be an 8:30 minimum. So,
We've done 9:15.
Yeah,
We have-
we've
we've
left
done-
through the staff door sometimes.
Yes.
They log out.
If that's what we gotta do, that's what we gotta do.
okay, so I guess what's left is to take, is there anything else we need to discuss before we get to the take appropriate action? I think times, which I really feel like is more up to you as library staff and less up to us.
Well, and what times would more of y'all be available?
I am not available during the week, during the day. I work.
Yeah, no, I think this has, I think, right.
So,
I think this needs to be like an evening
Yeah.
event, just because you're going to get the most people. The idea is to educate people about the library services, and then more people are going to be available later in the
This is December
evening.
6th. right?
What's the targeted age range for this?
Fall. It's like Lego 0 to 99 plus.
Yeah, but we can't be doing it at 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. right?
No,
I'm thinking for like 6 to 8.
that's kind of what I was thinking, because, and it's a come and go thing, it's not a hard start. It's on Wednesdays.
And we're not gonna run out of prizes and things like that.
I mean, it's just
So
hot
it's
chocolate.
It's hot
just
chocolate.
a show.
D&D takes place in the community hub. This will be in the innovation zone.
That's a good question.
Sorry, I just was.
No, thank you. Thank you for knowing our calendar.
I like watching and looking at all this stuff, so.
No, that's a good, just to make sure. But the thing is with the D and D people here, they will, most of them will walk through the innovation zone to get to the hub and be like, what is happening? And then maybe they'll go on a quick tour of the library. So,
6 to 8, or 8:30, maybe even close. You got people that will be here anyway, right?
Well, I'm thinking of putting up
yeah,
hot chocolate all over the floor, then, or.
Powder everywhere,
Yeah.
marshmallows galore, sprinkles.
Every-
Nice.
Whipped cream.
Trevor turned into life.
like a big canister thing we can put hot water in. Okay. And then,
I found it last month for something completely unrelated. I was looking
Oh, how
for it and I
funny.
was like, this will be used for hot chocolate.
yeah. Well, because you could do one of two things. You could pre-mix a giant vat of hot chocolate. No, that'll get caught in the thingy. Great. This is why we're having this conversation. Because that's where my brain goes. Yeah. No, but you guys put hot water in it and then have packets out.
Serving packets of hot
And then
chocolate.
you could get the packets that don't have the marshmallows already in them.
Yep.
And then have marshmallows and sprinkles. I don't know.
You could do marshmallows and tiny candy canes.
Tiny
You can
candy,
stir
stir
things
your
up,
hot chocolate with.
and then it melts and it makes it peppermint.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like tiny candy canes and marshmallows.
Yep. I like it. Sprinkles.
And the individual candy
It does.
canes are all in already packages that you don't have to worry about.
They are, they're like the Santa candy canes, you know?
Yeah.
Well, except the North Park Santa gives out cookies.
Yeah, he gives up, yeah.
Not the one that died, the new one. Well, there's a new there was a new Santa at North Park starting last year, and then the guy that was there for like 30 years died a week ago. That's why.
Oh,
Anyway. So many things.
Brain is processing and trying to get over the fact that it's, timing
We
is
have to have
off.
we have to have a moment of silence for this.
Okay. So we do need appropriate action.
Right. So in this appropriate action will be to confirm that you like the card format.
Yes.
This is the exact contents are still TBD, but you like the format, you approved going forward with it.
Can we make it pretty? Like clip art, like
Canva.
clip art?
Yeah. I mean, it will get prettied up, like.
Okay.
So once we have the
We'll
content
put stickers
straightened
on
out,
it.
well, probably, we may even, I don't know. You think FlexPress, we like, think FlexPress for this?
That would
Turn off
probably
by
be
200.
better, yeah.
Okay. Do FlexPress so it'd be on the similar paper to like our calendars?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
So I was thinking something like cardstock, but
Because we do card stuff, we could put glitter on it.
No glitter.
No.
Thank you.
no. glitter is evil.
Too many
No.
good people in this group.
My kids came home from preschool with painted pumpkins and glitter, and they didn't even come in the house. They went from the garage to the front porch. And they were like, we want them on the table. And I was like, do you want to eat again? No, there's no glitter near where we have food.
No glitter, no slime.
Nope. We are also a slime-free house. All right. It's a thing. All right. So appropriate action
Appropriate action.
is to approve yay or nay on the format and other details, or the format.
Format and time.
Yeah, format and time.
And just to confirm, so we're gonna do the kickoff on December 6th and then collect books for approximately 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The 20th.
20th, it'll end on the 20th. So then my ask would be sometime between the 20th, if we want to get it to the hospital for Christmas, if we could have the board get together to sort through all the books.
So do we want to maybe finish it a little early? Because the 20th only gives us 5 days
Yeah.
to make sure
Yeah.
you get them sorted and get them down there.
So we did it over a span of 2 days, last year. And I mean, it was me and my mother-in-law, my husband and my kids. And so like, I don't, it obviously depends on how many books we get in, but it did only take us 2 days. And then we were able to just bring it right over.
So it was more, you were just assessing for quality.
Yes, yeah, we don't have to sort them in any way. You just look at them and say, okay, like,
This is decent
Two
enough.
categories.
Is this book moldy? Yes.
like, I honestly think if we had at least 5 people, we could knock it out in one night.
Mhm.
We also need to keep in mind the number of board members that are present, so it does not become a meeting.
What's the number?
We have quorum is whatever is majority of
I'd have to look and see.
non-alternate members. So I think it can't
Majority
be,
of voting members.
yes,
Of
majority.
9 with 2 alternates.
So 7,
Four.
so 4, so 3 people is it. Otherwise it can look like a meeting.
Okay.
2 days.
So then we would be organizing on the 22nd.
The 21st and
Potentially.
22nd.
3 of us. will be
Or
working.
you
Yeah,
could say it ends on the 19th.
And the 3 would be.
It could end on the 19th, or we could come up here on the 20th at 6 or something and go through the books.
And you could also
Two
just take
different
shifts.
Yeah,
You know,
if we take
19th.
shifts too, then we're not all up here.
It
at the
also
same
could be
time.
ongoing, like maybe every 2
Oh,
days you
yeah,
get to be like,
yeah,
that
that's a
accident.
smart idea too, and not waiting till the end.
Right.
just-
Yeah,
So then it ends on the 20th, but then we come,
Start coming early.
Or we come in shift, we can have 3 people come on the 13th.
Yeah.
To go through the books one evening, and then have 3 more people will come on either the 20th or 21st to go through whatever else came in the last week. And I feel like that'll cut it down, the work, but just by segmenting it. So that was a great idea. And then we just would need to figure out when it's going to the library, knowing that the Christmas is a Monday, which means people will be vacating starting Friday and Saturday. So we may want to end it on the 18th or 19th so that there's time to get it to the hospital before Friday.
I can definitely bring the books and then I just put in my van and then take them. And then obviously if anyone else wants to come, we can all go. But yeah, no more than 3 of us.
I want to say because it's not because it's like short term,
Yeah,
like it's not
We
like.
can all go probably because it's like a ceremonial
Right.
thing.
okay,
Thank you.
And we're just gonna take a picture and be like, look, we wrote books, and then we'll all leave.
Yeah.
perfect.
As opposed to the process of sorting books, which could turn into an hours-long thing and conversation can wander.
Business.
Yeah,
Same concept as us all being on the email chain together.
together, right.
We're not discussing business.
Everybody showing up the same football game, like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
so sorting on the 13th and 21st, and then taking it by,
Which one? Or it's on the 20th.
Sorting on the
20th.
13th and 20th, taking it on the 21st.
21st.
Yeah.
And we want to stop taking them on the 18th, that Friday? Or not?
I think by the 20th,
Yeah.
the
You'll
books
start
that are
finding it,
coming are coming. Nobody's gonna show up at 8 PM on the 20th and be like, I meant to bring a book.
Another 1,000 books.
Right.
Santa and cookies is on the 13th.
Okay.
So are we trying to sort at the same time as Santa?
I mean, I can come at like 4 o'clock on the
Yeah,
13th.
2 o'clock.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be in the
Okay.
evening.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
come during the day.
Yeah, we could have people who come, I mean, just,
You can come. Just stay to help us with Santa.
And if you smile,
But thank you for saying that Kisses and Cookies is the 2013, is the 13th,
You can complain to
because that needs to go.
Yeah, we need it.
Like at 4 or something. I can do that.
I'm gonna have a really sad child.
And most of y'all are working starts and I'm not.
Oh, because they have soccer practice at the same time as Santa and Cookies.
Ah, I was wondering.
I wonder who's gonna win.
We only need 3 of us.
No, my child will be sad. I'm gonna come see Santa.
She'll be at soccer practice, so too bad, so sad.
His schedule does not match, I would say.
Yeah. The one child she really needs to see Santa's schedule doesn't align. Anyway, okay. Getting off track. All right, so appropriate action. Have we discussed all the discussing things? Points, all points have been discussed.
I move that we go forward with our plans as discussed, including the bingo card, our times, the dates, and the sorting schedule.
You mean the scorecard?
The scorecard, that's right, scavenger hunt.
I got you.
Remember, keep scavenger hunt.
That's why you yell hot chocolate
When you,
when you win.
and when you finish, you're not winning.
You're not
You
winning.
finish.
When you finish, you yell hot chocolate.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so moved by Stacy,
Second.
seconded by David, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? All right, and the motion is approved. Okay, moving on to another event, Tearjerker Movie Night. So we talked about setting it in February and doing more of like a rom-com situation, and trying to collect tissues again, because at that point, your local teacher will be out of tissues, and it is cold and flu season. So I guess we are discussing setting a movie night in February. So we need to choose the night in February and discuss the theme.
Because last month, everybody, we were undecided on like trying to go choose a rom-com.
Or comedy or
a
A
drama.
family movie
Yeah.
or
Yeah, but we got it done, but we just got
Galentine's.
timing.
Yeah,
That's, I think, the bigger thing. Advertising, for sure. Additional advertising.
I'm gonna say not the 14th because it is the double whammy of Ash Wednesday and Valentine's Day. So let's not do that. Maybe the week before or earlier in the week. What's the best night of the week?
Friday,
Friday
Saturday.
for a movie night.
Yeah, Friday or Saturday.
I think Friday. We want to try Friday. So the 9th would be the Friday before Valentine's.
And have it at like 3:30. So we close at 6
Oh, I forgot about that you close earlier on Fridays.
and Saturdays. Right now, 10 to 6, Friday, Saturday,
What time do you close on Thursdays?
9.
9. So then do we want to do the 8th? Well, that's our meeting night.
Well, then we hear it in Delta.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna be organized.
Just saying, yeah, we can't do both.
Well, but we can all, can't we be here for like a brief?
For an event, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're running a program and an event, yeah, absolutely.
And then we just stay a little bit longer.
Whatever.
If it's not a movie we want to see, well, the.
Yeah, the week before.
The 1st or the 15th.
Yeah, the first. The
Yeah.
first is good.
If we do the 1st, then we are having one more meeting before the event.
That's true.
So, okay, so do we like the 8th of February for the event? So we were saying 2/8. I'm not sure, our time, I feel like, was not good, because it was like when you feed people food, is that like 6? So maybe even just at 6:30.
Do we want to go later on a Thursday?
If you started like 6:30 or even 7, it'd need to be a little, shorter movie or not.
You'd have to, most of it would have to be 90 minutes anyway.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say short, a 90-minute, I wouldn't want to choose anything longer than 90 minutes anyway, just because I can't sit still that long. I know, it's a shocker.
Yeah.
So 6,
Find a 90-minute movie.
90-minute movie. So we can, if we do a 90-minute movie and we set the event for 6:30.
We're over by 8,
We're over by 8.
which gives up cleanup
And then
time
cleanup
before the library
time,
closes.
yeah, plenty of time to clean up. So I feel like we cleaned up pretty fast last time anyway.
I did this. What was the date that was decided on?
February 8th,
February, okay.
When are we moving the meeting to?
we would meet, I think we said the 1st. So we could have like one final meeting, right?
Detail.
Right.
Not let us sit together, Stacy.
Do we need to decide on a movie?
So
or are
yeah, I
still
think
on
we
the
need to
thing?
decide on a movie or a theme.
I would say a theme tonight, that way y'all have a chance.
Just to go home and think about movies that go along with that theme.
I was thinking like The Princess Bride or The Princess Diaries in a way that's like romantic, but also kind of.
I mean, I'm always a huge proponent of The Princess Bride, so my vote doesn't count.
Yeah, I love both of those movies, but if you wanted to lean more towards like a fairy tale as genre, I don't know.
Well, if we're trying to do like.
Or like a
romance,
Or if you're wanting to do more of like not to do like Galentine's, but more like a,
Really not on there.
or more like a friend, like the Friendsgiving version of Valentine's. If that, you want that to be, whatever that is.
What would be Thanksgiving, like a movie that would be Thanksgiving in that.
I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're
Yeah.
saying, that's like,
What did you say? What'd you say, David?
When Harry Met Sally, the edited version.
Yes, yeah, the one that's been through Vid Angel and has had all the questionable bits removed.
Is it even a movie at that point?
No, I think it's not. It's just the pecan pie and paprikash scene.
Yeah.
That's all that's left.
and I was looking at like rom-coms and they're mostly geared towards like teenagers
Mhm.
going through all of that fun jazz that is puberty.
Yeah,
Is that our target audience?
I think that could be a really good target audience is the teens.
Okay.
So then Princess Diaries or something else like that.
Are we still doing a tearjerker movie or?
It's got,
So
there's
it's like it's
sad,
so
there's
funny
some-
that you cry.
Yeah, I don't know if we're doing it to laugh so hard you cry, but it's an emotional roller coaster.
And it's not saying you have to keep the name tearjerker.
No,
Yeah.
You know, it makes for an easy placeholder at this moment, you know, while we're talking about.
yeah, we can change the name later. But we want some kind of like, you're thinking more like a teen YA,
Yeah,
if we're gonna use library terms,
yeah,
a YA rom-com.
yeah. Because if you're looking for more
Fault in
younger,
Our Stars. What's the one with Mandy Moore where they all have cancer?
A walk through.
The
A Walk to Remember. No, that's a different
Yeah.
one. Mandy Moore's A Walk to Remember.
So
again,
So it sounds like to me, we're doing YA rom-com.
I think so. Unless someone has,
February.
Yeah.
It fits.
yeah. Yes or no? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just need to look at the.
We just need to figure out what that is. So everyone, like,
Yeah.
pretend you're 12 and go on Netflix this weekend. Or 13. You're 13 and you're angsty.
oh.
And you
Princess
just wanna
Diaries.
be loved.
It's Princess Diaries for me.
I also really like the Drew Barrymore version of Cinderella,
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Ever After.
yes,
Ever After.
So
It's a one.
good.
yeah. That was really firestorm.
Next meeting.
Next meeting.
Next meeting.
How many movie ideas next
Maybe we need
meeting?
to have some, oh, we can't have them show me, because we could preview them.
Mm,
What about, oh my gosh, what is it?
Three of us.
Stardust?
what if we let people on Facebook choose as a way to promote it? Like choose our movie.
Oh,
You
but we have to come up with the ABC
Yeah,
option.
you need
Yeah,
five.
ABC
You need
option.
five, probably, for people to
Because I
choose
am a little worried that choosing an older movie, we might not be able to bring people in.
In, right.
Because we kind of faced that with Homeward Bound,
Bound.
which is an amazing movie.
It's a great movie, but I
Yes.
feel like if people knew what it was about
Yeah.
and that the talking dog and cat are hilarious. And your daughter had the time of her life on. So-
Yeah, the Princess Bride being 2001 is pretty old.
Well, Princess That's Princess Diaries. Princess Bride is like the 80s.
Oh, sorry, Princess Diaries, yeah.
It needs to be PG, right?
Yes.
Yes. Which the Drew Barrymore Ever After is PG-13, but it's my 9-year-old has seen it.
And it needs to be in your availability list.
Yes, it does.
Yes, which is, you know,
Wait,
It's gotta be a little bit older.
not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
oh, no, is that one not on there?
Ever After does not appear to be on there.
Well, there you go. Problem solved. I bet you can't probably get our movies on your thingy, can you? Or is it the same
Yeah,
thing
oh,
you're
yeah, you
using
can.
for World Cinema Club,
Mhm.
which some of those are, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so appropriate action. We are moving with, we need someone to move to approve the date of February 8th, the time of 6:30 to 8:30, and the theme of a YA rom-com. I think that is everything that we have discussed.
In what meeting will we actually decide what our movies are?
We are to come up with movie ideas at our next meeting.
Which will be
November
November
9th.
9th. Okay.
We set that last month, I feel like, and we're taking December off. Yes, okay.
Mhm.
July and December.
It is July and December, yeah. I knew July, I couldn't remember if December or not. Okay, so.
Okay, I move that,
It's starting to feel like Clue.
Bring it.
I move that we approve our plans for our next movie night, including the date of February 8th at 6:30 PM. And with the emphasis on getting young teenage, the youth student, yeah.
YA.
YA. audience.
Yes.
A second.
All right. All in favor? All opposed? All right. Movement is approved, passes. Okay. And then C7, this is something that Lee brought up at our last meeting, to assign member or members to investigate adult literacy programs in the area for potential library partnership. So as far as members, we're looking at 2 to 3 people would be kind of like a subcommittee that would investigate this.
I definitely wanna
Okay.
do that.
I think you're a great person to do that since
Since I could.
since it's
The
from
trouble.
you. Does anybody want to join Lee on her quest?
Get all, so get all the movies on it.
What?
Let's get all the newbies on it.
Well, I mean, there are ways you can divide it up pretty specifically.
Yeah.
Like agencies and other educational entities, and, you know, like somebody could do the community colleges and I could do, I've already started working a little bit with workforce.
Okay.
So,
So I don't mind doing it.
Okay.
I'm wanting to make sure I understand adult literacy as in like,
Adults who can't read.
yeah,
Got it.
and not
Okay.
necessarily other language adults, because we already offer the
Right.
ESL. But,
It'd be like native English speakers that never learned how to read and write.
okay, yeah.
Right? That's kind of what that's,
And I-
most of these adult literacy groups, that's who they're aimed at, are native English speakers
Okay.
that never learned to
Or
read
they're
and
still
write.
at a first or second grade reading.
Grade level,
yeah.
The goal is to get them.
An
up
adult
to-
who's below like a
Having
sixth grade,
trouble with employment.
Yeah.
having trouble.
Yeah.
because like the New York Times is written at like a sixth grade reading level, right? Isn't that
That's what it
historically has been? I don't know if it is anymore.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if it is.
I don't know. I remember there was this thing we used to run all our papers through. It had to be, your paper had to match the grade you were in, and mine never did. So I had to dumb them down.
Yeah, because I could look at it from a health literacy.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
That would be
yeah,
great,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
Like what in your industry?
yeah. Well, because my nursing, so nursing
Yeah.
and understanding how to talk with patients and
Well, that'd be great.
so.
Okay, so our appropriate action would be to assign Lee and Zachariah to the adult literacy subcommittee.
Any other volunteers?
It's not exclusive. It's, if you
It's okay.
wake up tomorrow.
Tomorrow
and
you decide you
Yeah,
can do it.
And it could be like when you all publish your times you want to get together, and some of us might know whether we can come and help or not.
Yeah.
Good enough. Second then.
Who motion?
I'll motion.
I thought Stacy was just out of habit.
David, you heard
Second.
Stacy talk.
I was saying, well, I might be able to volunteer. Yes, you was volunteering, maybe if her schedule
I
allows,
wasn't.
to also join them. We just
That's
have
the
to
same
make
thing.
sure that
That's
we are not
Greater than three, maybe only three musketeers, not four or more.
Okay.
All right, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, so the motion passes. All right, Trevor's turn, library director's report.
All right, I've got a lot. So, we'll start off with statues and book drop. Statues, I have no update on. Book drop, I do. If you have not been to been outside and looked at our pickleball court this week, you will notice that it is all torn up. They have contractors, so there's a contractor out here that is doing 2 projects that I know of. They may be doing statues, but I know they're doing the pickleball court. They've ripped all the decomposed granite out, tearing out some of the sidewalk that was damaged, that had been damaged and like off kilter, and they're gonna re-concrete all of that in. So no more crushed granite around the pickleball court. Part of that same project and proposal is to lay the concrete for the book drop. So once the concrete is laid, the book drop can be delivered and installed, and we will finally have a book drop. Don't know about statues yet. I didn't know until Monday when I got here that and I was like, why is there a whole bunch of trucks and why is half the parking lot blocked off? And it's because they were ripping granite out. So
Communication.
yeah, you know what? I'm just happy they're here.
Yep.
Then it started raining Tuesday afternoon and it all turned
Yeah.
into slush and
Yep.
yeah. Native plants are around the ramp. I have been told now it's going to be sod instead of native plants and still no ETA. Crosswalk lights, I got an email today saying that that Encore has received their permit to install crosswalk lights and they are searching for the contractors are in process to come out and do it.
Wait, they're looking for contractors or we're on the
They've got
schedule?
So the contractors are coming out and then
Two,
install the lights.
okay.
What was asked was when should the contractors come out? And the city manager's office said not before voting ends.
Okay.
Because I know how our luck would be. They would show up out here November 6th, election day, and be trying to.
Yeah.
And then you're in trouble for impeding people's ability to
Bingo.
vote.
So
Yeah.
hopefully sometime after election.
November 7th.
Yes, so
Opposition none.
I don't care. Fingers
I'm
crossed.
I'm just glad because it's been so long.
Good years.
Yeah, that's been a thing. So
So-
I'm glad it's finally happening.
Spanish as a second language will be starting November 11th. I know it's gone out on our Facebook page already.
This is in the water newsletter.
Was it?
Water
Well, that's cool. I did not know it was in the water bill. So we found an instructor. She is very interested and exciting. It's still going to be a 10-week program, taking off a couple of weeks for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year. So there's some spans in there, and it runs till like February 7th or something.
Where did you find her?
Found her through, I don't remember the name of the company that I found her through. But she's done other library programs for other libraries, and I called them and was like, hey, did you like her? And they're like, yes, our grant funding ran out, so we weren't able to bring her back, but yes. And I'm like, well, if other libraries are saying they wish they had enough money to bring her back, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
So, so 101 is back. We had 2 sessions yesterday doing, candy bags for, and had like a total of 16 attendees between the 2 sessions, which was awesome. Testing your observation skills. Did you happen to see anything interesting as you were walking this way on the wall? Yes, they're up. Yes.
Yes.
You walked right out. So, no, so they were hung up on Tuesday, because I came back from the council study session and found them on the walls.
It's like, yeah, you're finding a lot of things. Trevor. It's great.
It's been a really packed month. Many 3D printers have gone home with several staff. And right now, the test mini printer is at home with Maria. And so her and her husband and kiddos are trying it out. And It's like, I swear that every time I think the end is in sight, we find another problem and we fix it and we send it home with somebody else. Find another problem, but we are getting closer. We also went ahead and bought 3 more of them just so we have them. So once all the kinks are worked out, we'll have a total of 4 to circulate, and we're gonna keep 1 in the building for staff use and just in the innovation zone. So, we kind of took a chance with the UFO program on Saturday and had 10 people show up. That was kind of neat. And it was really a lot more of like the history behind searching for UFOs and not tinfoil hats. So,
Success.
it was cool. Texas Book Festival grant, City Council accepted the donation/grant on Tuesday. So we are finishing up the finance portion of that for finance to take the money and put them in the account that we can spend from. And then we will be buying the board books for those. So I'm really excited to get that up and running. I know, it is. They wear out so fast.
Yeah.
But
So
they are needed.
they are very needed. I mean, the shelf space is over there looking a little bare, and it's like, we're excited to get. The order is like 374 board books.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's about a 60-40 split English and Spanish.
Oh, good.
So we're really gonna, that was part of our proposal, was to grow the Spanish board book collection. I think we're buying a copy of every single Spanish board book that comes through the vendor, because they don't have that many. Assuming we can get them, because we built the list back in the spring when we applied for the grant. And so hopefully most of them are still available, because the buying is weird. String Variety Puppet Show, I talked about it last week, that it was a brand new performer that we had never really done anything with before or knew anybody else, and it was very successful. We had a nearly 100 attendees. It was like 97, 98.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were not expecting that many people to come out. It was really cool. There was just one guy doing it, but he had 8 puppets and kind of a backdrop, and it was pretty good. I was entertained. So, we black papered out that room last night and had a blacklight art program. It was messier than intended, but hey, that happens. Had 8 teens show up, which I think is a record high for our teen programming in the last couple of years. But our teen programming is growing, and I'm crediting a lot of it.
Oh, these are so great. I'm glad you brought these. I love them.
This is a test box, or an example box. So we have our teen lit box program going on. And so at the moment, it's 10, the first 10, or the only 10 that sign up. They fill out an idea card as far as I like sci-fi, I like romance, I like whatever. And then they get a book that is picked out by one of our staff, specifically tailored towards their ideas and their interest groups. We've got a note card in here, the book, and it's all by a theme. So like,
Which Spooky Stories was this month.
this gold is November. So this is not anybody's actual box. So I'm not, sharing private information with anybody. But you get a book, the snacks are all, whatever the theme is. And usually there's some unique stuff. So this is a button that the only time you'll ever get this button from us is this. I don't think we did anything 3D printed for November. In December, or for October, we had a 3D ghost keychain. And some stickers, a few of which were designed by staff members. So we're doing some.
They're really cool.
They are.
They're all over TikTok now.
What?
We're trying.
The lip boxes?
It's basically a idea of like dating a book,
Oh.
where you're like, you get a mystery, you send in what you want. It's like, you're like, oh, I like sci-fi, like you say, and then you get like a wrapped up kind of.
Oh, it's like what you guys do in February,
Yeah.
where it's all wrapped up and it just
Yeah.
tells you what it is and you take it home. You check
The
it.
blind date.
Yeah.
The blind date with a book. Yeah, I like that. That's really fun.
Sometimes they usually do like a bookmark and such, so.
Yeah, we're changing up some different stuff every month as well. So different snacks and different things and
Tea and,
we've asked like dietary preferences, because some people can't have peanut butter, so they don't get any of the Reese's peanut butter cups. And some people, we have alternates. I've been eating way too much candy because we overbuy candy for every single one of them. But that's actually what I just finished drinking.
Hot chocolate.
Yes. because I did not need another cup of coffee. Solar eclipse programs. People started emailing us back after the
Oh,
last.
after the annular thing was all done.
It was, so, we are looking at having a pro museum out here. They have a couple of different programs. The first one, they call their Solar Superstars. It's a maximum 30-person program. It's really geared towards elementary to middle school age kids.
Okay,
Everybody's welcome for it, but they put a hard cap of 30 people on it at a time. So we're thinking of doing that one twice.
okay.
Or, and we might do both. They also offer a program called Earth and Space Science Night. It's a 2-hour event, up to 200 participants, and we're thinking of offering it over spring break, but we have a problem. We do not have enough staff to man the library and man 11 different stations at the same time. So if y'all want to man 9 of the stations, we can cover the rest of them. But and I don't need an answer immediately, but if you're interested,
When, or if you're doing this, it's spring break,
March.
March,
yep,
Do you know which week in March?
which
I-
spring break are you taking?
that's it. We just got an email from them yesterday.
Okay.
Dustin was like, hey, I want to do this, but we definitely can't staff it. And I'm like, nope, we definitely can't. So,
Okay,
Program,
Um,
additional program details and what the station's involved, because I don't know that I want to be at a station that I don't have a clue what I'm talking about.
well,
We'll train you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and 2 people come out from the Pro Museum. They bring all the supplies, they teach you how to do the station, they do everything. It's just, we don't have to pay for 11 Pro Museum employees to come out and,
if you can provide your own people.
yes,
Okay.
so. If-
There is a total solar eclipse.
In April.
In April.
So that would be good time.
That is exactly why we're planning it ahead of time.
I would say do it.
So, okay, I will get Dustin to get more information then. He didn't want to follow, go down that rabbit hole. If there's no way we can do it, then
Yeah,
there's
I
no
think
sense
it's
in
just,
exploring.
yeah, just figure
Well,
out.
y'all are gonna be in town if you have kids, yeah.
Well, I don't know. My people can't decide where they want to go for spring break, so I'm not going anywhere, I don't think.
Okay, so I'll get more details. We'll pick a date and I'll send an email out to y'all before we book it, because it is a $500 expense for it, so.
Right.
And that's, if we don't have enough people to staff it, then I would much rather spend it on something else.
Yeah.
And then Trevor, do you have the contact information from the Boy Scout that came? Because that could be something that
Oh,
some of the Boy
yeah,
Scouts
the
might
Boy
want to
Scouts.
come help and
Yeah,
help some of the booths. Because they'll get they could get badges for that or.
Or
work
even
towards
some
it.
Girl
Or
Scouts,
some of the
if anybody
Girl
knows any of the
Scouts.
older Girl Scouts.
I know the Historical Society does stuff with the Girl Scouts.
So then we might be able to get,
So we could supervise their station while they do their thing.
My
Yeah.
father-in-law does scouts at, in Farmers Branch.
Okay.
One of the
Because, yeah, they really recommend up to 2 people per station, but you can do it with 1. And
but if we could get some scouts and they can get a little community service action,
Mhm.
or even kids from like, I don't know, do kids have to get community service hours at school anymore?
Yeah,
National Honor
We just have an
Society.
age minimum. I mean, do you remember what
Yes.
that is?
15,
15, yeah.
yes. We just got an email back from the city.
Yeah, they have to get their community service.
Yeah.
Yeah, NHS people. NHS.
Okay, oh yeah, so we could reach out to the National Honor Society at
Yeah.
W.T. White and Turner.
We even had somebody contact us at ATV to see if they could come volunteer to do something, so we're like, I don't know, because we don't run it, we
Right.
staff our local one, but we
I
don't
still
say
think it
yes or
would be a
no.
good idea for the board members.
Oh, yeah, to be
Oh,
there.
oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But like, if it needs 2 people, if we can have a board member and
Yes.
a youth,
Or a
One or
board
2
member, a
kids.
Yeah,
Boy Scout, and a Girl
Yeah.
Scout.
Yeah.
Whatever, a combination where we just kind of sit back and make sure they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
yeah, more like a
Screwing around.
supervisory role.
Yeah.
Because then you can even, if however the stations are set out, if you can even get 1 board member to kind of keep their eyes on double stations.
Absolutely.
Cool.
I need an adult.
I need to know.
Well, that's not me, but.
No, all right, anything else? That was very cool, the parade.
No, I'm still going.
Okay, great.
We have, I just went blank on the Farmers Branch Carrollton Art Association. They're doing their high school scholarship art contest. So if you've noticed, I've got my pro panel set up
Mhm.
there and I've got 4 more downstairs. That's where the art's going to go. There should be representatives of art from all four high schools, or from all four of the high schools within the CFB ISD umbrella. And then also in March next year, we are most likely, it's not guaranteed yet, going to be hosting the Farmers Branch Carrollton Art Association, their internal art show as well for those art members.
Okay, cool.
So I feel like there's something else, but I can't remember what it was. I mean, I have a page full of notes already. Ryan, am I forgetting anything before I move on to my last one?
We had a Talking Bees program
Oh, yeah.
here.
A
It was
talking
really
what?
cool, a Talking Bees program. So it was this, it's a beekeeper. His name is
Oh, that's
Chris.
right, yes.
Yes, and he is from Round Rock and he represents Round Rock Honey. And he basically got this grant through HEB to do bee programs throughout the state of Texas. So we were one of his stops on last Friday. So he did 2 programs here, one in the morning, one in the evening. And we had about, I don't know, 15 to 20 people show up overall, which, you know, I don't say what you will about those numbers, but it was a fantastic program. It was so educational. Everybody who came got free honey and other free things. And it was just really, really cool. I got so much out of it. So that was super fun. So yeah, last Friday.
Is he doing it again?
He is doing other programs around the state, but not here though. Yeah.
We were the second one.
Mhm.
Ever? Like, I think he did Carrollton first, just because the night before. He did Carrollton the night before, and then he did on Thursday, and he did us on Friday.
Yeah.
So,
I think San Antonio's this week, maybe.
I don't want
Yeah, I know, a little bit, but it's kind of far.
I think he was also coming back to the DFW
I
area.
think he will be doing another run through Allen and Plano, I think.
Sounds right.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
places that have
That's closer.
HEB stores, yeah.
Places that have
Yeah.
HEB stores. That makes sense.
first.
No, no, not
There you go.
mid-cities, the grocery store.
Yeah. This is clicking.
Okay.
So I have one other announcement. I am leaving Farmers Branch. I've been dreading this conversation. Actually, I've had this conversation a lot over the last couple of weeks, and I'm really dreading. I've been dreading every one of them. The library that I mentioned earlier, the librarium,
Yeah.
I'm going there to take over that library.
Oh,
So,
okay.
In Florida.
yes. So
Okay.
I will be, I do not have a last day yet.
Okay.
Part of it is we are hoping to hire a new director to start before.
Ryan doesn't want it. She got to do it and she didn't want it.
Hope to hire a new director before I leave, so that way that we can do a little bit of overlapping training before I leave. It's still an LS&S library, so it's not like I'm actually leaving the company. It's still
Right.
going to be oh, hey, it's your first day. Let me walk you through some things.
Right.
I'm still available for reference and everything. Also part of it is I need to find somewhere to live, because that's an adventure to move cross country. So I will most likely have my last day either end of November, or early December.
Okay.
I don't have a last day yet. I need to find somewhere to live first. But
Congratulations.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Very excited.
Congratulations. Very exciting.
There's a 2-story building project. It's a 4-story building, but only 2 stories is the library. So I'm also taking on a 2-story building
Like-
project.
Like to finish out.
Yep.
Oh.
They are still in the design phase.
Where is this? Where in Florida
Is
is
it
this?
Homestead?
Homestead, it is
The
about,
website is amazing.
yes,
Mhm.
this librarian was a very cool, very, very cool librarian.
Where's
South of
Homestead?
Miami.
Oh.
And when I say south of Miami, it's the last city before you.
Yes, no, I've been there.
Yes.
Yes, because when we drove to the Keys, there's like a Wendy's and then you're in the Keys.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, that's where I'm going.
okay.
I'm 30 minutes from Key Largo, very excited.
Yeah.
So,
Bahia Honda is our favorite place in the Keys, just.
Yeah.
For vacations, just store it away. I know
Yes.
you're not ready for that yet.
No.
Watch True Lies and then go over to the bridge.
no. I'm like, I gotta get there first, like, that's
Yeah.
I'm setting everything up for, everything, that way Ryan, if it goes to Ryan as the interim director, she is able to pick up and keep moving. If the new director starts before I leave, then it's a smooth transition in that direction. So there's a whole lot of like, yes, this is a great idea for a project. I'm taking my notes and filing them away for the next person, because I'm not gonna be here.
Here, yeah.
So
I mean, it's sad.
Yeah.
I have big mixed feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very excited to go.
No, that's, no, There's so much about it that's exciting, but you've done so many good
We have
things.
to share back.
Look, you just got here.
I've been here a little over a year,
Yeah.
it's a
It's
year.
been
in
in
August.
August of the year.
Yeah. Cause my first meeting was your first meeting.
You'll have to share back.
Fun.
Sorry.
20-year.
I mean, I'm still part of the system.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like I'm actually like leaving to a completely different part of LSNS or a different library. I'm still within the LSNS system, which is how I'm moving there.
Right.
And that it was very much one of those things. It was like, oh, are you interested in living in Florida? Weird question, but yes. And my partner had actually talked about moving to Florida as long as we've been together. And then moved to Florida because finding library jobs in Florida is not easy.
Right.
So, you know, here's a library job. She's a nurse. She can find a job in Florida.
Yeah.
There were old people in Florida.
Yes. Beach, I know.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
So I'm a beach bum. Like the beaches are my favorite vacation spots anyway. So gee, there's a beach 10 miles, 10 minutes from the library.
Yeah, there's so much cool stuff. That's so exciting. All right, so that's your last bit of your update.
That was my last item.
That was-
That was
yeah, that was the grand finale.
I debated about doing it first. and
No,
then realized-
first one.
No.
First, we would have just really gone off the rails.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're at the very last item, right? C9. So items to be considered for future library board meetings. The only thing that I feel like I see that we've discussed that needs to go to future items is movie ideas, movie suggestions.
Probably what you have behind you there.
Do we need to circle back?
Like, as in, not
Think
necessarily,
about some action.
yeah,
There probably needs to be some language to formalize it.
So we need to make like a document, okay,
Now,
put it into real words, which I can do, because I have a copy, I think, well, the sustainability committee, this is where this all started. The sustainability committee has something like this, where they have kind of, it's like an Excel, it's a table, like an Excel spreadsheet. And it's like, this is the thing. This is like how we're going to do it. And then it's like, this is a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan or whatever.
well, and I think that, like, I'm maybe speaking out of turn, but like, this should be something that we kind of discuss routinely.
Yeah.
Maybe not like next meeting, we have to have another discussion about this, but like, you know, at least twice a year,
Or
maybe.
maybe even if it's just constantly on the agenda, like check in on the,
Check it
Yeah.
out.
On the
5,
plan.
10, 20 plan. Because like in between, somebody might find a grant and say, whoa, we might be able to get a bookmobile or something like that. And
Mm.
I know we can't discuss it if it's not on the agenda, so.
This is true. So I think what we need to do first, before we can
Yeah.
make it a routine item on the agenda, is it has to be a document that we can look at. And so
It needs to be adopted.
it needs to be adopted. So I think that the action item or the item to be discussed is formalize, finalize we'll call it the 2045 plan, because that's what the city's thing is, right? And I guess we would need to adopt it,
And take appropriate action.
right?
It may not even be next meeting that you adopt and take appropriate
Yeah.
action. It may be review 2045 library board document and discuss.
Just, yeah. So,
And then we can make the motion that we next time come up and say, or something, yeah.
Yeah.
And we can go from there.
it's like the bylaws all over again,
Yeah.
but they're still not done. I mean, they're done. We all have accepted them. So we still have to go to the city. Like, the loop is not closed. So.
Okay.
All right. Anything else that anybody can think of right now that you would like to add for our next meeting, which is November 9th? At 7 in this building.
And if something does come to mind, don't forget.
I know it's a very quick turnaround for the
You
next
can
meeting.
always email the chair and, request something be added.
Mhm.
I believe it, is it 7? I'd have to go back and look. I think
It's
it's
like
7 days.
7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in the Bible, which everybody should have a copy of. If you don't have a copy and you need a copy, let us know.
I have extras.
Okay, if there's nothing else, then we have moved on to D, adjournment.
I moved to adjourn.
Okay,
I'll second.
Kelsey moves, David seconds, all in favor,
Aye.
all opposed.
That's good night.
All right, no, who wants to live at the library? Nobody. Okay, so we are adjourned at 8:45.
All right, and I will go ahead and end the recording.
Oh, that's right. The movie's going.